Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Dungeon Boss Respawned. I am your host, Darth Craig. What are we going to do today? We are going to ask ourselves, how long does this take? Any of you returning players out there looking to figure out what this is going to take in order to get back into the game? And be competitive again. Just as a quick point of reference, I'm kind of pulling the South Park mentality here in terms of the make love, not Warcraft. I have been just trolling around in the low levels, not really for any particular reason to try and advance the game. I am level 20 right now. That's just from doing acts 1 through 4. So if you look at my thing here, I have not been progressing in the actual game. The reason being is I am working on building my roster, and that requires a very specific mindset in terms of the grind. I am a hardcore grinder. I love to grind. I have OCD tendencies, so it's no big deal for me. But basically, I haven't gone very far in the actual game yet. Most of that is because I've been just trying to get tokens and develop a couple of teams. So at the current moment, I am working on my Goblin team. And basically, what I found out when actually going through here, you can't just pick who you want to go and run them all the way up to 6 stars. Doesn't work that way. So if that was your plan in coming back to the game to focus on certain heroes and get them all the way up to the top, you're going to run into a wall at some point. So for example, I have Bramble at 2 stars. I wanted to get him to 3 stars. I cannot do his story yet until, if you see that third line, I have to do the 3 star on the other three goblins first. And you'll see that recurring theme throughout other areas of the hero. So basically, it's going to prevent you from getting a bunch of high powered heroes and neglecting everybody else. That's just how it goes. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to be working on Nub Nub. I just wrapped up his second ascension, so he's going to be a lot tougher now. So he's got all three abilities. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to use these guys in PvP, and these are also going to be my main PvE dungeon runners too. With the synergy that they have between each other just seemed like a good fit. Plus, Nub Nub was very cheap to do because he was one of the OG heroes. He was not super legendary or anything like that, so it just took basic evos for the most part to upgrade. So what we're looking at today then is, again, how much time does this take to get competitive? So I've gotten to level 20 in 3 days. If you look at my hero roster, I do have a good chunk of them. There are still, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 22 heroes that I do not have. You can see I got tokens for them, but not a big deal. I also have not spent any of my summons. We will do that on another day. If you look at my actual portal, I have a bunch of these things backlogged. Just haven't used them yet. Like I said, not really that interesting to me. I'll take care of that when I take care of that, and we'll do that on video too. You can see what kind of stuff that you could possibly expect there. Um, Now, going into the grind and how we're actually going to do this. So basically, I'm going to spend the time so that you don't have to spend. Um, and what we're going to do is we're going to backtrack. For the most part, I go down into chapter 1. I've been running Catacombs of Muck. Reason being, it's a short dungeon. Two, the enemies are purple and green, so it's going to allow me to get crits off of pretty much anybody and run through them. Only downside to this is that the Evo is a blue Evo or a water Evo. I would prefer that to be a fire Evo. I will switch up my runs throughout the day occasionally so that I can farm some of the other Evos. So, for example, I needed a lot of Forest Evos to finish off Nub Nub. I just happen to have enough. I don't have enough to ascend Squinch. But these blue ones and ultimately some of the yellow ones that I get and the purple ones will ultimately be for those multicolored Evos. But again, that's neither here nor there. So I picked this one because in most part it's a fast dungeon. Um, it's only three rooms, so it's just boom, boom, boom. I run it on basic attacks only to mitigate the number of screen animations, so we're not dealing with all of these extra abilities that I just don't need. And generally speaking, I will run with the strongest team that I have for quick kills, and that just happens to be my goblins at this time as well. I'm also doing that because I happen to be in the middle of Winterfest right now, and if a treasure goblin comes up, I want it to actually get killed, rather than running this dungeon with a bunch of level 4s and 5s to bring the floor up on the rest of my roster. When Winterfest is over, I'll go back to that MO and run just low level guys to spread the wealth on experience. So with that said, I'm going to give you a quick little 1 hour montage. Maybe throw a little music in there, maybe add a little excitement. But I'm going to spend the 1 hour. I will recap our results at the end, and we will go from there. So you can fast forward, but I'm already going to do that for you. So we'll be back in 1 hour, and we'll talk about how we got to where we got. All right, we are back, and just like that, the hour is past. You know, they say a watched pot will never boil. That's exactly what this felt like. It was a long hour, but time flies when you're having fun, or in your case, time flies when you set the video to 16x and it just speeds through it. Let's see what we ultimately accomplish in that 1 hour. I know for a fact I started on Nub Nub 33 out of 40, so we had 7 runs there. I finished all of Squinch's um, storyline there. I finished his level 3, that was 40 runs there, so that was 47. And then we ran Gretel. Gretel, I ran a total of, it looks like, I'm on 17 out of 20, so 17 and 7 is 24 plus 40 is 64. So came in just under, or yeah, just under 1 dungeon per minute. So I actually hit that pretty well. Learned a little bit of a painful lesson along the way here for anybody that's new to farming. These were the first 3-star runs that I was going after. Forgot about this little number in the middle here. 20 nature dungeons. So originally I was running Nub Nub and I was just running the 40 missions. And what happened was I forgot that 20 of them had to be nature. So while I did 40 of them, it was not optimal. I sort of panicked a couple of runs in. Once I hit those first 7, I switched to Squinch, and then I realized I had to switch to a fire dungeon. I did that, and then after I wrapped up Squinch, then I went back and got a nature dungeon. Fortunately, both of the ones that I picked were both 3-room dungeons, so they were really quick, and I didn't lose too much time. But I probably could have gotten 5 or 6 more dungeons had I not been fumbling around on there. All things considered, at the end of the day, where that took us, like I said, 40, 20, 64 total dungeons. It takes, if you look at any particular person, let's start with a brand new low one. If you look at their story, it's going to take 10 dungeons there, essentially. Sorry, 5 there. And then for their level 2, it will take 30. So 35 per person. If you do 2 of those, basically you could get 2 2-star heroes in 1 hour if that's what you want to grind out towards. So looking at the number of heroes that I have and where I have them, most of them are all 1 stars. Very few are 2 stars, so you can guesstimate the number of hours that I've put in so far. In terms of monetary value, I went from 1.3 million to almost 1.9 million, so that was a pretty big increase there. It is 2 times gold right now. So call that basically a 250,000 gold improvement. I did get a couple of gems. Just about 3 runs ago, I ran into a treasure goblin, got myself a nice gold key. So that was kind of the perfect way to cap off the run there. Brings my total up to 9 gold keys so far, so we're doing pretty good there. We'll be able to open pretty much every door Winterfest with gold keys at this rate, so pretty happy about that. So that should give you a little bit of insight in terms of how much time you want to spend grinding out hero tokens in 1 hour. Like I said, you can get 2 2-star heroes as you progress further along. The 3-star dungeons, like I said, or the 3-star heroes were running 40 dungeons, so that's not going to take much longer. So realistically, in an hour and 15 minutes, provided you meet all the other requirements, you could get 2 3-star heroes. And I assume these things are going to compound as we go on further and further. But that's all that I got for today. I hope you enjoyed this, got a little bit of insight into it, and if that's going to draw you back into the game a little bit and play, can't wait to see you around. Otherwise, have a great day and ultimately have a great weekend as well. We will see you next time. Bye bye.